Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Photography Schoolhouse. I'm Kerry Allen, and we're getting noise from the road. We're just going to deal with that. That should be a little bit quieter. Tonight, as we advertised, we're glad to bring Julianne back. Julianne is not one of our regular models. She actually came as a customer and then kindly agreed to come and pose. It's not Julianne. Vivienne. Jeez. Sorry, everybody. It's Vivienne. And I knew that. So there you go. Me and names. It goes back decades. So she's kindly agreed to be our model tonight. And she's got her boyfriend, Kyle. He's going to step in as well. So we've got a really good session lined up. But what I want to show you first is pictures from her actual shoot. It was about a week and a half ago. So I'm going to just go over to the computer. We're going to look at those. So I do maternity in two different ways, is what I was saying. I like to do a high-key version because during the day we have a nice bright window, which they're standing in front of right now, and we can burn that out as much as we want just by setting the camera. In this case, the camera's up around 3200 ISO, and a little flash on the inside of the room just to balance it out so that they're not in complete shadow. Although there are times when you can take that fill light and just turn it off and get a totally different look. It's kind of a silhouette. So that's just bang, bang. Nothing changed other than turning off the interior fill light. So then you get a variety of poses, of course. But it's this kind of lighting sometimes, a little bit more dramatic, and it's not really a full silhouette. If you can see, there's lots of detail in their wardrobe, their hair, their faces. It's not technically a silhouette, so it's that halfway in between. But maternity, I felt, needed to be done differently. You know, for the past 2 decades, we've been doing the tummy with the hands forming a heart over the belly button, and honestly, there's nothing wrong with that pose. I just got tired of it. Don't like doing it anymore. And a lot of maternity poses that we used to do, I just don't do anymore. So what we're going to do is we're not going to reproduce this lighting tonight. We're going to do something a little different. Now, quite often we'll do the same picture but give it 2 different post-production treatments. So when they come in, I plan on retouching about 30 images. In this case, I went a little overboard. I think it was more like 40 images. But they see the retouched images. They don't see raw proofs like the old days and say, well, pretend it looks like black and white, or pretend it looks like this warm tones. Don't do that. We just do the retouching, and that's what they see during the first time they see their pictures. We also make an Animoto slideshow, just a 2 to 3 minute slideshow set to some nice music. I'd play it for you other than, because we're broadcasting through YouTube, YouTube gets really sensitive about copyrighted music, even though this is licensed music, but it's just a hassle arguing with YouTube, so I'm not going to play that. This series I really liked. All we did is we have this large sheet of sheer material. I don't even know how big it is. It's fairly large. It can wrap around her a couple of times. And then we have a fan that's positioned just to our right. She's kind of facing into the fan, but the fan's down low. We're just trying to get some wind caught in the in kind of the train of the sheer material. Now, this one has a flaw in it, in my opinion. The flaw is, because of the way the material drapes, it doesn't really look like it's a maternity shot. This probably would have been better if her hand, one hand on top of the bump and one hand underneath, which would make the material conform. Both her and I talked about this. In fact, we talked about it just before showtime, where there's a difference between looking like a maternity and just looking kind of overweight. And so I think this one could have been improved, improved a little bit, but other than that, I really like it personally. And there, actually, we have Kyle holding the train just out of camera shot to assist with the wind. So all this is basically turning, obviously that's the internal fill light off, that's the internal fill light on. Just turning lights on and off. The camera doesn't really change all that much. So, now this is the show, but I got to stop it before it plays. How do I do that? Okay, well, there we go. Sorry, I'd love to show it because it actually turned out really well. So, as I pointed out, I'm not going to do the same thing that we did during that session, but I am going to do the kind of now mostly low-key work that I really like to do. I'm kind of going through my dark phase. So we're going to set up the lights and Vivian, and so what I'm going to do, I'm going to call you over. And for a minute, you can just have a seat on the stool facing right out through that opening towards the door. Now what we may do, though, because the sweater is going to really hide the shape. So can we lose the sweater? Just put it over there. Okay, now I'm going to need some assistance here. Actually, can you kill that light? And we didn't draw that curtain. Boy, we really didn't finish the setup very well. Because I'm going to make this back wall go as dark as I can make it. I might, because it might just throw a tungsten glow. Now I'm just going to take a couple of quick test shots just to see where we are. Yeah, right. Okay. That's really dark. Okay, actually, that's pretty close to what I want. Can you kill that? Yeah, that. I don't know why that comes up. So, now we don't do nudity on our broadcast, but you know, if your client is comfortable with that, you could easily do it. Usually, even if we do it, we don't technically show anything. We cover them up. Like if she was doing a nude, we would use her arm to cover the breasts. You know, it's not about, we're not shooting Playboy here. We're just shooting intimacy. So the fact that we have a really dark kind of look on that one side is exactly what I wanted to do. But we're not even going to need the kicker light yet. But Dave, if you could swing that light more behind her. No, just actually slide it over maybe. Yeah. And then back towards her. We're going to look straight ahead. We're going to try for Rembrandt lighting on the face. Let's just see how we're doing. We're getting close. Yeah, let's do that. I was just catching the edge of the light. So one light, it's a strip light. If you want to, if one of the cameras can pick up the light that we're using, there we go. So it's a 3-foot by 9-inch strip light with a honeycomb grid in it. Now the honeycomb really does. I didn't used to think they did anything. I thought they were just some gimmick that the camera companies wanted us to buy. Turns out they actually do a lot. So if you're not using honeycomb grids, or sorry, they're egg crate grids, they really do help control the spread of the light. And so we're going to use those. We're going to use 2 strip lights in a second. They're going to be egg crates in both of them. So now, actually, what I'm going to get you to do, can you slide the stool towards me a little bit? Yeah, come along with it. So we're getting too much light on the one side of the face. I want that side of your face to be almost dark. So, yeah, look at the TV for a sec. Let me just take a test and see what happens. Now, I'm not doing anything to make this is a light gray wall or a medium gray wall behind her, but it's going jet black because I'm depriving it of light. There's no light. So I don't have to hang a black backdrop. It's all about control of the light. That's why the egg crates are so good, because if we took that egg crate out, it would bounce light everywhere and I wouldn't be able to get a nice solid black wall. So we're just getting a little bit of rim lighting now. And then all we need to do to evolve this without moving the customer at all, we're going to slide that light coming towards me. So it's starting to slide it up. And more to the wall, so you might have to go on the other side of it. Yeah. So I just want a little bit more light now on that side of her face, just by repositioning it. And then don't look at the TV, straight out the door, and let's see where we are. So you see how the light's spilling on her face now, so it gives a little bit, we can see a little bit more about who she is. And there's also a nice separation between her black top and the black background. And I'm overshooting this. Her skirt is in the shot, but you know, that's because these are 8x12s. We're going to crop them down to an 8x10, and that distraction at the bottom of the picture, the brightness of the skirt, that's going to be gone in the finished image. Now, I got to warn you about the dangers of strip lighting when it comes from a harsh angle. If the customer, if the client has any problem with skin texture, if they've had bad acne scars or anything like that, this is really going to show it. It's going to give you a retouching nightmare. So I might not do this kind of pose with just anybody. In this case, Vivian, not Lillian, not any of those. Yeah. Marianne, or it is Vivian, right? I got it right this time. Yeah, I did good. Did I tell you the story about the secretary that worked for me for the first 2 years? I called her by the wrong name. Yes. I have this. Okay. Well, I don't forgive myself, though. That's really bad. So, however, we are losing the back of the dress and the back of her hair. So what we can do, Dave, is we're going to bring that light right to about where you're standing. And now let's take a look at what this lighting is doing. You're going to look right at the light. And totally different again. So put one hand on the top of your tummy, the other hand underneath, and that's going to help us shape it. If that light could come up in power a little bit. What's it, at 2? Yep. Let's make it 2.5. And we might have to, let's see if we have to light her hands a bit more. Yeah, no, it's actually, that was fine right there. Just upping it. So we still don't have a second light yet. We're still just using one light and replacing it. What we're going to try and do now, Dave, we're going to take that honeycomb grid light, throw it on the gray wall, and set its power as low as it'll go. So I don't want to make it a gray wall. I want to make it a, no, not that one, the honeycomb. Yeah, the grid. Set it down to about like a 0.1 or something. We'll start there. Oh, that's the 400? Oh. Well, let's see what happens. I'm all for experimenting. I want it head height, yeah. I'll try it there and see what we get. So yeah, that should actually be a smaller light, and because of the broadcast, we're not going to take the time to change it out. But I'd put that's a 400 watt second. I'd put a 100 watt second in there and get the power down even more. So we get more of a subtle look to the separation. But all this light is going to do, incidentally, before I forget, that's got a 10-degree honeycomb grid. So as you can see, it's really controlling the distribution of that light. If you wanted more of the wall lit, you might go to a 20-degree or a 30-degree. But it's giving us nice separation. So let's just turn that off for a sec, Dave, but leave it pointed where it is. And turn on the other strip light, if you would. And let's set its power at 2.5, exactly the same as the other one. Now this kind of dramatic lighting is something that I do all the time with anybody. Yeah, it's going to look right, it's going to point right at its partner across the room, as if they're, caught in the crossfire. So what this does, and I want to take a test picture just to see what we're getting. This is perfect. Notice how on her arm, there's light on the front of it, light on the back of it, but on the part of the arm facing the camera, it's all in shadow. So this is cross lighting, and it's pretty darn perfect. Again, the danger is somebody with the wrong skin texture, you're going to have some real problems. But she doesn't have that problem. Skin's really good. So she was an excellent candidate for this kind of thing. So I use this on high school seniors. I use it on maternity, boudoir, portraits, you name it. I use it a lot. It's one of my favorite lighting patterns. All it is two identical strip lights directly across from one another. Is there a camera that can see both lights at the same time? Not really. Both set for exactly the same power. And then, of course, the other thing is they have to be exactly the same distance from the subject. Even though they're the same power, if the other one's 2 feet back, you're not going to get exactly the look you're going for. So, now what we're going to do is change this a little bit. I'm going to have you stand. We're just going to kick that stool back out of the picture for a second. And same basic pose, only standing this time. What we're really trying to show, when you're sitting, it sometimes doesn't show the baby bump. So, yeah, we're going to do the one hand up, down, looking around like that. Perfect. And really want to make a change. Notice how our black background, because we added an extra light, it's now going to a really dark slate gray, but that's okay. I kind of like it. Now, when I look at the histogram on this, our studio monitor is actually just a television. It looks contrasty on the television, but the camera says it's just perfect. So if we go to print this, we're going to get some nice, really nice looking and clear separation between our black top and the background. Now while we've got the lights set up in this direction, without moving the lights, you're just going to rotate on the spot looking directly towards me. And what I want you to do, crisscross your arms up like that, right up on top of your shoulders. And put one leg in front of the other like you're about to take a step. Elbows down a little bit. Just relax your arms. You're relaxed. You're okay. Looking straight at the camera. take a tiny step back. And we're still getting separation on the black t-shirt. It's very subtle, but it's definitely there. Now, I'm not getting quite exactly the light I'm looking for. So, Dave, tell you what, take that light that you're beside, the softbox, the strip light, feather it slightly to the wall. Not a lot, just feather it slightly, like that. So it's going to spill some of its light into the back and give us more separation from her top to the background. So what I want to try, I'm going to show you this picture in the bottom right. And so you notice how her legs are almost crossed. And it's adding shape to her waist. So let's try that. Same basic pose. And maybe it was too high up here. Maybe bring your arms down a little bit like that. And they don't have to be exactly the same. Like one could be down towards your waist almost. And then that's good. Let's try that. Now, so notice if I shoot her face, because of the lighting, her face is going to be in a little bit of shadow. So what you can do, first of all, it's not always about the face. It can be just about the bump. But if I did want more of a 3/4 length, what I'd want to do is keep her shoulders to the camera like in this shot, but I'd turn her face to one of the other lights. Try that one. She is. Like, now, notice the problem with this shot is where her eyes are looking. When I asked her to turn her face, her eyes went way over, and that gives her kind of these devil eyes. And she's laughing. It's okay. She didn't throw anything at me at all. So what we do is this exact pose, all we do is we redirect where her eyes are looking. So point your nose in one direction, but bring your eyes back to the TV. And notice by centering the pupils in the sockets, you get a much more natural looking kind of a pose. So I'm always looking for where the eyeballs are looking. Quite often, it's not straight ahead. It's usually off to one side or the other. So if you were shooting a real session, these are like a few poses you can do in a hurry just with 2 lights. We had the first light, the first strip light, we had in 3 different positions for 3 different looks. Then we added a second strip light to get full dramatic lighting. And so if you weren't talking like I am, you can actually shoot that entire sequence in about 5 minutes. Now there's one we're going to try that's more like this dark one in the upper corner. So you're going to look at the other light, now this one. And it's okay, so just look at that light. And your hands, maybe one hand on your hip, back there, further back. And you're going to look right into the light. Just turn your head. Your right hand, just bring it further back. Yep, that one. And lower. Anything on that? Any questions? The lady that's monitoring the questions. You've got to hit that refresh thing. Well, tonight's our night. That's refreshing. Remember, you can open up the chat window and ask questions. You don't have to be shy. I'll hardly yell at you at all. Yeah, no, we're not there yet. Okay, so that was a bunch of low-key portraits that I would do. And like I said, that's really simple to do. You can knock that off in 5-6 minutes. So it certainly wouldn't be an entire session. We'd then move on to something else. And in this case, just to make things a little easier, we're going to take those two strip lights and we're going to use them to create a high key background just by aiming them at the wall. And that's where, yeah, we're going to need one more light, which yeah. So we're using the strip lights anyways, so now we're just using them as a highlighter, so I don't have to bring down a white backdrop. We need another light that got put in there. And a stand and all the stuff that goes with it. So, okay, just go back roughly where you were. I'm going to just test this background. Almost perfect. It's going to come over here because if we redirected those lights, there's nothing lighting her. So it's going to come behind me over by the video light. Okay. There's one right over there. Oh.
There's too close there.
Okay. Still playing with the background light just while they're getting that set up. It'll work. Let's start with it there. And then we're going to bring it up, make it a 3.0. And stay there just to see if it's working right. Okay, so that's about right. So all I've done is a third light right beside the camera position, so it's acting as a fill. And the two strip lights, we can feather that one over a little bit. It's actually pointing down, so it's creating a shadow on the top. It should be like its usual, straight up and down. That should get rid of that shadow. Now, because the egg crates are really confining the light, if I really wanted a super white background, what I'd do is just take the egg crates out of the strip lights. Okay, let's try it again, just to make sure we're good to go. There we go. Where's my sheets? So what we're going to do, you're going to use the stool. It will be a pose like this one. So you're just going to sit and droop your hair. Not that your hair is going to fall like this, because it's curly. But you know what I mean. It's more the mood that's created by her look. So let's give it a try. Bring your stool back. And, yeah, looking, so you start, you're facing right towards Dave. One hand on the tummy, one hand on your hip, back further. Bring that hand back a touch. Good. Keep your body turned that way. And yeah, don't look straight down, like at your knee. Now, you put a customer in a pose like this, and they're going to think, oh my God, what about my chin? And her chin is perfect. Well, that wasn't what I was going for, but it's kind of cool. There, that's more like it. Now, this shot could be done in several ways. Again, we're not doing anything nude with our broadcasts, but this could be a nude shot, and we could cover up the breasts. And what would be cool about that is you get some shine off the skin and make it a little bit more dramatic. But that's all good. Doesn't matter. We're talking about the lighting and the posing. We're not talking about all that other stuff. So there's one more pose that we're going to do. If you would stand and just kick that stool back. And then you're going to look again right towards Dave. And it's more of this one, where it's the tummy shot. And her hands are kind of just... I have a white shot. Do you? I forgot. Let's do that. Yeah. Yeah. I'll make a change. It's all right. These are shot in real time, so when there's a wardrobe change, it takes a couple of minutes. So if there's any questions, this is a good time. Oh, are there any questions? No? Nobody wants to talk to me today. I'm very sad. Okay, that's perfect. That is perfect. So kind of your face that way a little bit. Yeah. So, like I said, it's not always about the face. I'm shooting this in such a way, even though a little bit of her chin is showing, I could crop, because remember, we're going to be doing 8x10s and stuff like that. So we're going to lose a little off the top and a little off the bottom. So you can shoot it this way, or you can back off a little bit, make it more of a half or three-quarter length would also be good. And I feel like you're leaning your back too far. Yeah, it's like you're going to topple over. Perfect. Hold that. Now, pick a spot on the floor. Just let your head go down and your eyes go down. Yeah, like that. You're contemplating. Anticipation. She has remarkably good skin. Now, I think what we're going to do is, Kyle's been sitting patiently. We're going to put him to work. Come on in, Kyle. So you're going to stand behind her and reach around, just her hands on the tummy, just like that. Yep, perfect. Excellent. Now, so just lift your chin a touch. Hold that pose, same pose. But eyes not at the camera. I don't want eye contact. There's no one in the room, just the two of you thinking about the future. Kyle, just turn your head this way a little bit and lean in. Good, good. Nice. So there's a million poses you can do from here. In fact, she had brought in a couple of ideas, and I think a couple of them will work right now. So, yeah, while we're in this same outfit, Kyle, you're going to sit on the stool in front of her, and it's basically going to be like this one down here, where my thumb was. Your head's kind of on her belly. So come right around the other side of her, facing her. And then, yeah, the stool as low as it'll go, and that's probably still too high. Is that apple box? Oh, okay, he'll get you an apple box.
Thank you, Dave.
Kyle is tall-ish. Ish. Yeah, put her right in front, and probably, well, try it on its, flip it on its edge. Okay, let's see how that works like that. That's about perfect. Yep. So, hands on belly, and resting your head, you're looking at the camera, just like that. Now, what I would normally do in a real session is that bracelet, is that a watch or? Okay, does it come off? We're just going to slip it in your pocket for a second. As notice in the picture that's on display right now how it picks up the light and really glimmers and it draws your eyes away. And there we go. I'm going to shoot this a couple of different ways. I don't think the tether's working again. Oh, it is working. Okay. And then...
He's always moving.
Oh, we had a little baby movement there. I shoot that as almost a silhouette. Instead of looking at the camera, just separate from her tummy a little bit, look right at her, and bring your hand down. Yeah, like that. One of the lights didn't go. I don't think that light is firing. Yeah, it is. So a couple of semi-silhouettes, just to add variety. That would be cropped in, of course. And enough, and all that is that's lighting them is blowback from the gray wall. I turned off the fill light that was beside me. So just turning one light on or off can sometimes give you some dramatic kind of images. We're going to make sure we got both. Now, Kyle, you can have a seat for a sec. There's one I'd like to try, Marianne or somebody. Can you get that wooden chair? Yep. And that big piece of sheer fabric. So I want to try this one in the chair at the bottom. No, that's not sheer. These are real, like, curtain shears. Pure white, the one that we did with the fan. So, yeah, you're going to be sitting, facing that way, yeah. And we're just going to get that piece of material and drape you a little bit. You want your glasses?
We're the wrong way.
She's running on spot. There we go. So just have a seat, and we're going to drape you with some material. Take the material and drape her. Well, I don't want it thick. Make it thin like we did before. So just one layer. Or two. Well, let's try two and see how that goes. Now, let's show like the sample picture like this. Not in front of her. It's got to come from behind like a shawl.
Oh.
Because we're going to show the belly. We want the belly to come out. Now, you can do that over the shoulders, or you can wrap it around. Like if you look in this picture, this sample, how it's just wrapped around under her arms. Probably her arms are what's holding it in position. Yeah. No, you're going to hold it just with your hands. Or
Lose the sweater?
I think it would be better if you don't mind. Yeah. Okay. Now, keeping the bra on, but can we hide the straps? Yep. No, we'll retouch any marks out. That's going to happen. Those marks wouldn't fade for hours. Okay, no wardrobe malfunctions. Okay. Now, Marianne, don't go away. That light with the metal grid on it,
Yep.
if you would turn it on and turn it back towards her. And turn its power down like as low as it'll go. It probably already is down low. Let's go to 1 point. That one might not go to 1 point. Okay. Let's just try. It might be overpowering. Well, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Okay, you're looking away, looking straight out that way to start with. Nice and straight in the back. And again, I feel like you're leaning back. Just lean forward a little bit so you're straight up and down. Yep. And then, again, use that hand to shape underneath the belly, like that. Okay. Now, Marianne, you're blocking the light that's hitting the wall, so you can come right out. There's no more, there you go. Bye. Now, that's too much fill light. I'm going to put that down. Caught. There we go. Okay. Now, see how your head's kind of turned? Look straight at that door right in front of you. Now, drop your head a little bit. Eyes to the floor. So I turn that light down. I'm now in a semi-silhouette, just getting some nice reflections off of the skin. So we're just, all of this is just a gray wall. I don't use or buy as many backdrops as I used to, and I'm sure the backdrop manufacturers aren't very happy with that. But I'm just tired of patterned backdrops. I use them occasionally, very sparingly. I like a clean background, either high key or low key. I think it just makes everything a little bit more dramatic. Now I can actually turn this light up a little bit again. I took it down a little too far. So let's try it again. There we go. And a bit more. Okay, I've just brought up the fill light a little bit more in power. So I'd refine this a little bit more. This would probably work better if she had some kind of just shorts rather than a full skirt so that the legs showed. But I think it's fine. You could do anything from fully clothed to nude in this pose. Nothing would show. Everything would be private. It just would be very, very sensual kind of thing. Now there is one pose I want to do while you're on the chair like that, and for some reason we couldn't find the black material that I bought, so we're going to use our trusty rusty burgundy material, which doesn't matter because it may wind up being a black and white photo anyways. So shiny side out if you would.
Do you want it the same as the white?
No, see how it's kind of draping almost straight down towards the camera. I always have, you know me if you watched any of our broadcasts before, I always print off sample pictures so I can show them to the client. I don't know if there's a camera running. Oh, there it is up there.
I'm going to tuck this into the bra so that
Okay. I always have the sheets printed up because I find it's easier to show the client the pose so they understand what I'm trying to do. I've done without sample sheets and with sample sheets, and it seems to work out better with the samples. I customize it before every session. I plan my lighting in advance before the client arrives. I already have a game plan in mind by the time they walk through the door. Okay. Now with this one, we don't want to cover up like a blanket. We still want to show some tummy, so it's got to drape like that. It's a big piece of material. Yep, and the legs, just to show that you have them. Yeah, like that. That's good. That's good. Oh, Marianne, you need a battery. Yeah, the tether died because the camera died during our wardrobe break. Thank you. This is the night of technical glitches. Okay, you ready? Tether ready to go? Yeah, okay, I'll try that. Okay, unplugged. Not carrying over Wi-Fi LAN. Let me just try that. Why is it looking for that? Okay, go up to Finder, or go up to the apple in the left, and force quit. No. Nope, 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 nope. Go up to the apple. Force quit. Kill DPP, Digital Photo Professional. It shouldn't be open. But the EOS utility is not open, but let's see if that was... Okay. Well, if you want to reboot that while we shoot this last sequence. You know, this EOS utility, the Canon, I shoot Canon. It's worked for a year without a single glitch, and the last 3 broadcasts, suddenly it doesn't want to work anymore. Or it only works for a while, but that's okay. So sit up again, almost leaning forward a little bit, and still looking out the wall, out the door. Chin down. Now, before we had your legs showing a little bit, and now they're all covered up. Yeah, I know. There we go. So I'm shooting this pretty much full length. And I am catching a little clutter, like legs of studio stands, but that's fine. Those I just crop out in the post-production. I wonder, have you got your hat? Your hat? Your hat. Oh, his hat. Sorry, I thought you were Kyle. I'm going to try this. Of course. That's where hats go.
Backwards, sorry.
Okay, same pose. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but we're going to try. Yeah, do that. It's like a pin-up pose. Excellent.
Created a monster. Oh, fun with that. You can always be serious.
Yeehaw. Yeah. Looking down, kind of almost hiding your eyes. Just like that. Hold that. When I shoot this, you won't even know it's a maternity shot. I'm going to bump up the fill light a little bit to get under the brim of the hat. Keep looking at the monitor and it's not up yet. So I'm focusing one spot focus, focusing on her eyes and then recomposing. Okay, unplugged. Plug now. We lost a few minutes, yeah. I'm going to do one more pose after this. What if I take a picture? Oh, it's starting, yay. So what happens if we take a picture? Okay. Yeah, it's a little slow for the first couple of minutes after a reboot. I'd like them to see these images. Well, it was, but it must have downloaded an update or something, and something isn't happy. So, it's locked up the camera now. Yeah. Totally locked up the camera. Okay, I'm sorry, folks, but I don't know that our tether is going to cooperate tonight. Okay, we're back up and running. Okay, so let's try that pose one more time. Yeah, like that. A little hint of a naughty smile. Good, good, good. And then look right out straight sideways, right out that way. Tilt your head down. Good. So I'm going to do one more pose. Now, one of the things you may have noticed is that all of the poses we did in a sequence where we didn't have a lot of light movement. We had some, but really I don't like mixing up poses so that you have to rearrange the lighting on every single shot. So we just evolved. It's what we talked about a couple of episodes ago in flow posing. So I'll wrap up with one last shot. I'm going to lose the chair, and while you've got the hat on, we're going to do this shot where you're kneeling. Yeah, she's up to several thousand now. Are you okay to kneel, or do you want a pillow? Okay. I'd like it to look like she's not wearing a skirt. Okay. Yep. So I'm going to do this really dark at first. I just turned off the front fill light. Scooch towards that wall a little bit. Marianne, that light, when it got kicked, it's pointing in the wrong place now. It's got to point towards the center of the wall. There we go. Okay, lean forward. I really want to get the entire fabric. I'm going to zoom out. Okay, Marianne, while you're there, that light with the grid on it, the metal grid, point it down towards your knees. You've got to loosen it. No, the handle on the opposite side. It's really tight. And just tilt it down. Down, 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 right about there. Just need a touch more light down there. Let's try that. Yeah, it's overpowered. I got the wrong light head there. So what we're going to do is point it down even more towards your knees. So that's going to feather it. Oh yeah, this is good. This is good. Yeah, turn your head towards me. Well, glance down at the floor right in front of you, like at the foot of that light stand. Lift your chin just a touch. This is kind of painting with light. I really like this. So there we are. We ran a few minutes over. It's because we lost a few minutes at the front of the presentation when we couldn't get the laptop to show, but everything's good. Were there any questions? Where's the question thing? There what? Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah, just so you know. Yes, you can. Sorry. Okay. So, want to thank everybody for coming. As always, this is recorded and it'll be up on the forum sometime tomorrow, maybe late tomorrow. That's the Gold Member Media Library. And I'll do up some pictures tonight and post them along with the video so you can see the end results after retouching. So with that, have a great night, everybody. Thanks very much.